Hello everybody and welcome to the final episode of Darkness Falls. In part 1, our hunters found themselves in a blending of worlds as the Veil collided with ours, letting malevolent spirits interact and harm the people of Great Falls, Virginia. They spoke with a local druid and learned that the waterways can be used as doorways into the Veil. Claire then had a vision of a curly-haired woman in khakis being suspended in some form of magic near a flowing river. She was trying desperately to keep the Veil from crashing through. The hunters then decided to make their way into Great Falls National Park to find the woman, help her if they can, and save the world in the process. Hack Recklessly proudly presents Darkness Falls, Episode 2.
My name's Harlan Kelly. I use they, them pronouns. And today I am playing an 85-year-old woman whose name is Mags, and she's using the Spooky Playbook. And you can usually find me DMing a 5e Spelljammer game, Dungeons & Dragons, on Monday night over at Better Than Heroes on Twitch.
Hi, I'm Ivy. My pronouns are she, her. I am going to be playing Ruby Hayes today, and she is using the professional playbook. You can find me any other time, either on Game Visit Girl, Ice Cream Sandwich, where I run D&D, just depends kind of what I'm doing. But in addition to that, I'm also the founder and CEO of the Crit Awards. So if you're interested in TTRPG award shows and very community-focused events, you can check us out there.
Hi, I'm Nika. I use she, her pronouns, and you can find me streaming nearly every Tuesday and recording D&D podcast with the Greetings Adventures friends. You can also find me on Instagram at the Nika Howard or on Twitter at Nika_Howard. And I am playing Claire, who is an 18-year-old chosen.
And I'm LB Hackmup. I'm going to be your keeper of secrets for this game tonight. You can find my stuff on Hack Recklessly on the YouTubes and Twitch and Spotify. If you're listening there, please leave us a like, leave us a comment, and we'd like to hear from you guys. Let's get right back into the story.
I will go with Claire. I think that she is onto something with wanting to find the waterways and things like that, of knowing possibly a doorway or some kind of connection. So I will go with her. And I know that I don't have the charisma to speak to somebody without coming across as very abrupt. So I will go with Claire.
All right, sounds great. How are you guys getting there? Did you bring a car to town?
We have a 2-person bike.
You know, I think that Claire brought the 2-person bike. I actually had shipped down, and I had my parents pay for my motorcycle to be brought down. And so when you say 2-person bike, she was already like, cool, I guess we'll do that.
This was a conversation they had one time, and Claire was like, I think we should get back. And Ruby was like, yeah, I've got a bike, whatever.
I've got a bike.
And so Claire's like, okay, well, I'll get back for us. And this
Oh
is
my
what
gosh,
happened.
like a misunderstanding of the two of what the definition of bike. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so
different
good.
degrees of bikes. And so when you said, "Oh, we could just take the bike," Ruby's like, "Yeah, that makes absolute sense. We could just take the bike," not fully realizing that you meant the 2-person bike. So yeah, we'll take the 2-person bike. Ruby will take the back of it and just like, yep. Because now she's worried. She's like, oh, she's also putting the pieces together that maybe there was some misunderstanding.
So we put our helmets on and we're off.
Oh my god.
I love that. All right.
You have to talk Ruby into wearing that helmet.
Listen, I know that it will make your hair very flat, but I don't want to have to call your parents and tell them that Ruby can't finish the semester because she fell off the bike.
Ruby, Ruby just kind of sighs, her shoulders heaving forward but it doesn't match my suit.
All right. So, Mags, you place yourself on one of the plastic chairs that sits in front of your motel room, and you start to look around at the people that are moving around this small motel. Everyone seems to, they're trying to understand what just happened in this town, because most of the people don't understand anything to do with the supernatural, let alone being attacked, and they're helping each other. You see people are taking people to the hospital or getting out of town, whatever it is, they're trying to understand. You even notice Tact and some of the other police officers are, moving around with their cars and talking to people on the street, and there's a lot of commotion. And this sort of hustle and bustle, you start to see past it as you pierce the veil a little bit with your mind, and you feel around you these spirits, and you know that there are different types. There are complex and simple. There are different forms of the veil in existence. There are not just limbo. There's a lot of different religions that focus on having this space in between the living realm and the beyond, the heavens, the hells, the wherever the souls end up in general. And you know, like I said, that it's not just people that go to these spaces. It is supernatural beings and monsters. They all have these essences that pass on when they do. You realize that if the veil is breaking down and moving into this world, there are not only going to be these simple ghosts, these simple spirits that are going to be the problem. If the veil breaks down and the worlds combine, it will be not just chaos for here, but for everywhere. And you don't know how far this veil has broken, how far spread this one incident has happened. And if these beings mesh with our world, these more malevolent spirits will try to take over, try to kill, try to become living again. And as you look around and see these darker shapes, these lighter shapes, you feel this connection with something strong, this voice, this maybe what Claire was talking about, this sort of psychic connection. And as you think about what happened to you right before everything went to hell, or went to limbo, as it were, you sense this other being, this very powerful psychic connection with something, reaching out, trying to get help, trying to stay strong and hold something back. You're looking forward into it, and you see, as was described, these sharp rocks, these waterfalls, these rushing rapids, and you kind of are starting to put together that this could be having to do with the waterways, with the park close by. Something there is in danger, in trouble, and it does seem to be very similar to you in that you have this ability to see past the veil, to have this psychic connection with things. Whatever is happening, it seems to be happening to this person.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's like very, I think the physical world is something that it clearly doesn't like spook Mags that much at this point, because she's like ready to die a little bit, and it's not like a suicidal tendency. Like, she thinks that her and like Birdie both lived a long, happy life, and she's just ready. She's like annoyed that, like, she's already accepted that she both needs to be alive right now and is ready to die. And so I think that she's very much like unfazed by danger, but this is something that does faze her a lot, because she has experienced this misstep and feels a duty to her loved one who has this ethereal, spectral knowledge of the other side, that this is not the right path. Birdie has given her this talking to of like, man, you fucked up by like pushing too hard for this because it's upsetting some sort of balance. And she trusts Birdie so deeply to tell her that she is now like viewing this as her moral responsibility with the rest of her time alive. So this is like, okay, without even Birdie being here to give her this speech, she already doesn't need to hear the spectral voice to hear Birdie's voice inside of her head saying like, and you have to like, kind of like figures all of this out, sees like these movements, feels drawn to this, is just sitting around and thinking and feels very drawn to it. And she's like, okay, well, I gotta get up and do something about this because this is the right thing to do, right, Birdie? She says, like, without Birdie being there. And then is like, in tandem with all the other things that is happening, is like getting up and starting to like go collect Ruby and Claire to head over there.
Beautiful. Love that. Thank you. You guys start to make your way. You're all going towards the park, is what I'm gathering. Yes. Is there anything that you guys would like to do on your way there? Any other thinking you want to do? Would you like to, you can roll to investigate a mystery to see if there are other things that you could bring forward. or Ivy, you have your ability to contact the agency to get more information about things?
I think probably on the way to ask about the plans, like the schematics of the city, the blueprints of the sewer system, she would look for a payphone, and if finding one, she would call the agency, but she wouldn't call directly to like her parents' line because she doesn't want them to know like that she's asking for help. That would be silly of her. No, she's gonna call somebody else in the agency. I think she is gonna swallow her pride a little bit. She's gonna call her cousin.
Okay. All right. Why don't you go ahead and roll for that? We're gonna roll.
Okay.
To deal with the agency.
This will be so great for her. I'm so excited. 7 + 2, so 9.
Hell yeah. So on a 7 to 9, things aren't so great. You might get chewed out by your superiors and there'll be fallout, but you will get what you need for the job. So what are you asking for?
I think that she's just going to ask for any information about the area, any mysterious deaths that have happened, any articles that have come across their desks that maybe we've previously kept very quiet about. Maybe we've kept it like hushed, or just any supernatural phenomenons in the areas, if there's any.
All right, so you ring up this telephone, you dial in a number that is way too long to be a telephone number that brings you to your cousin, and they answer the phone and they say, "Hello, who's there?"
Oh God, I think that she can't even like voluntarily. That's the complaint that she makes immediately. She's like, "This immediately was a mistake." She's like, "Hey,
Ruby, darling. Oh, it's so nice to hear from you."
Okay, Saphira, I have a question for you. Could you do something for me?
Of course, dear cousin. What is it that you need?
Will you please? I'm currently elsewhere, and she very much will not tell her where she is. Well, she will not be telling Saphira at all. I'm currently out doing something, and I just need a little bit of information. I'm just curious about a location that's nearby to me. Are you familiar at all with Great Falls National Park?
I'm not personally, no, but I do know someone who... the National Park Service is a very important part of the United States culture. I think we have someone here who's a little bit more in tune with that. Is there something specific you want me to ask them about?
Could you just ask them, please, about any phenomenons or supernatural happenings that maybe we've covered up in the past?
Yes, I mean, Auntie Scarlet.
Oh my God.
Yes, I'm on the phone with your daughter. Yes, she's doing
great.
Yes. She was wondering about the National Park Service, and I was wondering if there are any things that that we covered up in that time. Could you look up for me? Do you have anything off the top? Oh, you do. Okay. What is it?
This is Ruby's worst nightmare. This is her mother, and she's like, "This is the worst thing. This is the one thing I didn't want to happen."
Oh, thank you so much, Auntie. She's just given me... she sends her regards, of course, and says hello. Hopes you're doing well and managing things properly. We've gotten an influx of calls from your area, which is just totally... But I see a file here. There's a couple incidents in national parks in general, and there's one file that seems to be, on the top here. Something about a park ranger from a couple states over that is quickly transferred to your area. A suspected psychic is all it says here.
Immediately makes the dot starts connecting the dots of green shirt, khaki pants. I see where this is going. Amazing. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you want any other information about this person?
What else is in the file?
Well, it seems that they've been working for the park system for many years, and that they prefer more isolated spots to be at. And it's just suspected. Their name is Alex.
Okay.
But that's really all I have for you. I'm so sorry.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Of course, darling.
Right. I'm gonna go now.
Good luck on your phone.
She hangs up. I think Claire like has watched the riggedness in the shoulders I'm making this phone call, and then the instant regret upon hearing, "Oh, Auntie Scarlet." It's like, "Oh, Mom's there. Great."
She comes up and just starts rubbing your shoulders very platonically, and
it's okay. Something
Did you find anything?
Yeah, just I think it's a park ranger. I think you're seeing a park ranger.
Oh my God, that makes sense.
Apparently, there's this with the khakis. Apparently, they're a suspected psychic. If that helps at all, well, we know that.
Maybe we should tell Mags, and Mags can use their psychic ability to reach out to them.
I think that would be good. Their name's Alex. So
Alex with a C or with a CK or an X?
I don't know. I can't tell with Saphira's accent.
Mags bursts in. She's like, "We need to go to the park."
There's a psychic. Do you know Alex?
Yeah, we've already met Alexis Sanchez, the owner of the plant store.
No.
No, this is Alex. He's a park ranger and he's a psychic. He's the one that the bad guys have all tied up. He's the golden light.
I see. Angels don't wear khakis, but park rangers definitely wear khakis.
Park rangers
makes
do.
so much more sense.
What if a park ranger is also an angel? Then they wear khakis?
Oh my God. That is the only reason I could think of for an angel to wear khakis, is if they are also a park ranger. Yeah.
Truly.
Or they work at Target.
Oh, yeah, also.
But they would want to be a green shirt. It'd be a red shirt.
Yeah, it'd be red shirt. Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah.
See, I'm catching on, kids.
You're getting there.
See, like,
you're doing great, Max.
We're teaching you. You're teaching us. Everyone's a learning. So we head out to the park, I think.
Yeah.
That's good. You've got the tandem bike. How is Mags? Are you sitting on the handlebar? What's...
No, Mags can drive a motorcycle. And so I think she's like, "Oh, if you guys are both going to take the bike, do you mind if I take the motorcycle?"
To give a visual reference as to what Ruby's motorcycle is, it is a 1993 Harley Davidson Heritage Softail. Like, it is a classy bike. And she's like waffling on it and waffling on it and waffling on it. Max, have you ever driven a motorcycle?
Oh yeah, I owned a Honda for a while, and I usually Birdie would usually ride in the back, so I would drive.
How long ago was this?
It was in the early '80s. It's a real at that point I was in my I was in my late 60s, and I was like, you know what? It's time for me to learn something that I thought it was too dangerous my whole life, but we had reached that point where we were a little, we weren't going to cut off as much time left. Yeah, exactly. We were feeling it was my midlife crisis. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I learned to drive. I got a Honda and learned to drive it.
Okay. So. Ruby's strongly considering it only because she knows currently she's not dressed in proper riding gear. This is a suit. If something happens, she is not wearing the right outfit, and Mark is wearing a little bit more of a practical outfit. It's like, Mom and Dad can always pay for it later, and then she'll hand you the keys.
Oh right. Oh boy. She starts it and feels the purr, and she shivers. She's like, okay.
All right. You guys start to make your way out of this small town towards the national park at a steady pace, as two of you are on a actual bicycle. The roads seem to be really stopped up with traffic as people are trying to leave because they, again, do not know what's happening. And it's easier for you guys to maneuver your way through this traffic on both motorized and non-motorized bikes.
We split the lane.
Yeah, exactly. And you make your way down the Georgetown Pikeway to the entrance to the park, and as you are making your way up the road, there seems to be a lot of abandoned vehicles here. Everything is kind of pushed off to the side, or doors are opened, as if this effect that happened in the town possibly and probably also happened here. And as you're making your way up, you get to the small station in between the two split roads where the park ranger would normally be taking license plates and giving people passes for the park. And there seems to be nothing of interest here. And Mags, you sort of feel suddenly that same piercing that you did before the last effect happened.
She pulled out her gun.
And you guys can
put
see
in
Mags.
headphones or earplugs, and I give them to everyone else.
And you start to see this fog again covering everything, this haze, as these abandoned cars become more eerie as the sky gets grayed out and the light from the sun goes away. And Mags, you start to see, again, these figures coming to life. You don't see Birdie close to you as of yet, but these figures seem to fade as the dark humanoid figures pierce through and sort of move away, and a few larger non-humanoid shapes pierce this area. Mags, you know, and as we've said before, there are not just human spirits in this in-between in the Vale. There are also monsters and other supernatural beings. You recognize very quickly that these are those. And they start to kind of get their bearings, and because this has happened to you before, you have a moment. As I've said, these spirits are going to be more hardy, and as the veil is being pierced more, they are going to be a bit more difficult to be affected by natural things.
I think Birdie's Mags is real like, hey, what are y'all up to? She's like throwing out at them, kind of like trying to like keep her gun close but not be threatening. She's like, you guys just hanging out? Anybody wanna, she pulls a Schlitz out of her purse and she's like, anybody want a drink? Or like, I just don't want to show up empty-handed to your thing that you all got going on here. Just really awkwardly, terribly, like trying to, like, she doesn't really think she can sneak by them, and also knows that we need to go here. So she's trying to be polite and failing at it.
I love that. Is anybody else doing anything in this situation?
Max is giving the "What's up, fellow youth?" That's all I could think of.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I've also pulled my 9mm just as a prep, as a just in case. And then I'll look at Max and be like, also, if you crash my bike in the middle of this, I'm going to be really upset.
She kind of like gets off of it. She's definitely parked it, and it's like quietly approaching him.
Claire will get off the bike and kick the kickstand down and put the bike up, and it falls, but she catches it and she gets it right again. And then she goes and stands next to Mags and Ruby and will put in her ear protection, and she pops in a peppermint that Mags has given her, and she grabs her stick and she says, hi y'all, hello. She doesn't have anything menacing to say to them, and she's not going to threaten them openly with violence in their own home. So she said, hello.
I think Ruby's the opposite. She will absolutely threaten violence in their own home as she just cocks the gun.
Yeah, these beings, there's about 3 or 4 of them around you, and they seem to be hunched over, 4-legged, or some of them have 6 legs. These beings are massive in size compared to the other shapes that you have seen, and you see one of them sort of taking notice of you, its head twitching from side to side, its massive forearms in the ground sort of moving towards you. And as it does, you see the head shift from 1 to 2 as it sort of bifurcates and lets out this intense growl scream as it has noticed you and begins to move towards you.
It's a bad one, Mags yells.
Great.
Alex is?
It does not seem to know who Alex is as it bounds towards you.
Can I throw out my flail and try to hit it?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay. I rolled 10.
Hell yeah.
Plus tough?
Plus tough?
So 11.
Hell yeah.
Huge.
All right, so go ahead and check out the Kick Some Ass. You get to choose an extra effect above the things that already happen with your weapon.
Okay, I think I would like to gain the advantage, take one forward. Oh wait, never mind. All of them inflict terrible harm. That one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do it.
So your weapon moves out from your hand. You kind of flip it in your wrist as the chain extends magically out. This ball full of teeth rips into this being. You can see the magic of it ripping at this darkness, pulling it apart. You do 3 harm to it, and as it rips through, you can see that it leaves a large gash between it, almost bifurcating it, but is still holding on. And as it does, you see that the darkness starts to fill back in as your magic kind of rips at it, and it explodes as it hits and then quickly returns to you. the other monsters in the area, these other shades, start to take notice of what's happening here. As you do harm to it, but it does not seem to destroy it. These things are a little bit hardier than the others around you, or that have been around before.
Do I have other things to do? Is that my turn? I think
that is your turn. Okay. And what are y'all doing?
I think Mags is going to try and hex this creature. And
ooh.
This might totally be an overreach. I'm happy to just do harm, but I want to see if there's anything I could do to break something precious or important of this creature's. I feel like it's just like wandering around, so maybe we don't have like a nest. It's just a moment where it could be like effective to distract it or get it off our scent, because it doesn't seem to be like guarding this place, right? It's just like a wandering spirit being. So maybe if we can kind of like threaten its food or eggs or like something to get it away from us, and just kind of like look over there, real Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park it, that would be great. Yeah. But if not, I can just harm it.
No, I love that. So with this, you are going to use magic. So you're casting a spell. You already have an effect that you are going to do from the spell, and we can just add it on top of that. So we can flavor it however you want. One of the things is banishing, which is something that this makes sense. If you want to be trying to banish this, and then I'll make it work. Don't worry. Yeah. So if there's something from the list of effects you want to think about, you do need to roll to use magic, which is plus.
Yeah. So I got a 12, a dirty 12.
Hell yeah. So on a 10 plus, the magic works without issue. What effect would you like to choose?
Yeah, I think trap a specific monster is one of the effects. So I think I just want to like hold it here as we get away. That's what I'm trying to do.
All right, I dig that. So what does your magic look like when you cast it?
Max is just yelling out to the spirit realm for help. She's just like, we got a big monster here. Can Birdie, anyone? Can you all just keep it here? We gotta keep moving. She's just kind of yelling, can anyone help us, at the darkness around her.
As you yell out into the darkness, you see these giant dark figures. And as Mag's seemingly yelling into the void, trying to stop things from happening, a small light sort of appears around her and behind her as a larger light, this white bright light appears, and these sort of wings unfurl from it, not piercing up to the sky, but more falling down behind them in a cloak-like appearance. This being moves through Mags as it reaches out towards this creature, and as it does, the hand of this light grabs it by the bifurcated face and sort of slams it into the ground. And as it does, another creature looking very similar in size and shape roars towards it and seems to be affected by this being hurt, moves towards the light creature, this winged being, and it tries to attack it. And as it does, this winged being wraps its wing around that creature and also sort of pins it down to the ground, as two of these creatures have been taken care of in this moment by this spirit that has been called forth by Mags.
Time to go. Time to go. Yeah, you drive this time.
Okay, great. There's 3 of us.
Yeah, I'm okay with handlebars in this situation.
Okay, great. All right, I'll quickly grab the keys.
Claire and I will squeeze. We'll hold on tight. Everybody hold on.
I'm a good driver. I'll take the keys quickly and turn on the motorcycle and try to get us out of there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you roll to act under pressure, because this seems like I imagine that Claire is you're on the front, Claire's on the back, and then Mags is like saddled in Claire's lap, facing Claire, like holding onto each other on the back.
That sounds actually very correct to me.
Claire and Mags are both tiny humans, just clutching to each other on the front of a motorcycle.
Really dainty for very different reasons of like the other sides of life. Yeah.
All right. So act under pressure. Okay, great. Because I rolled a 9, but my cool is +2, so 11.
All right, you do what you set out to. The bike roars as you start to make your way. The ground behind you sort of kicks up, as it does when your wheel starts spinning, and you move out of this area very quickly. The fog still surrounding you. You can see probably about 30 yards in front of you as you're making your way. going carefully enough to avoid all of the cars on the road. And you pass through, and you can see on your right, as you move into the park, there is a dark building with lights coming from it from the inside. And you would know from your research into this town, from being here for a couple of days, this is a ranger station. This is the welcome center for this park, and there seems to be someone inside.
I'm just going to call kind of back over my shoulder to the other two. So ranger station, yes?
Yes. Yeah, maybe you know about Alex.
Okay, great. I will start heading that direction then. Fastest route possible. Perfect. Maybe a little bumpy, but...
You pull right up onto the front porch of this, like going up a couple of steps. Shallow steps, and park your bike. As you make your way to the door, you see there is a park ranger holding the door shut as they are looking out, and you can see shades around you are starting to form again, and they see you, realize that you're living beings, and this tall gentleman with a very scruffy beard and dark hair, eyes wide, opens the door and says, get on in, let's go.
We get in.
Get on in. And he shuts the door behind you and is like, again, holding it very tightly, as there are quite a few people that have found their way into this ranger station. They are all sort of huddled together, scared, not understanding what's going on. There are 2 other rangers in here that are trying to figure out what to do. One of them has a shotgun, one of them has a rifle, and they're standing there scared. They can handle a bear, they can handle a moose. They are not prepared for this. And you kind of make your way in, and the people are pretty silent in this space, and the light from the building seems to be keeping away any specters from the outside.
I don't think Ruby immediately addresses the park rangers, because that's just not the person she is. She instead turns to Claire and says, do any of them look like what you saw?
Do any of them look like Alex? No. Do any of y'all know Alex? Have y'all seen him around?
There is a stocky yet muscular looking gentleman in a more ornate hat that has a badge on it, and he's got the shotgun, and he steps forward and he says, yeah, I know an Alex. She's out in the field. She was supposed to... What's going on out there? Are you okay?
Wait a minute, what do you mean? What's Alex's last name?
Alex Bean.
Alex Bean. Okay. When was the last time you saw Alex? We need to find Alex.
Are you sure you're okay? There's a lot of shit happening, and you seem very calm in this scenario.
I walk up to this man who is larger than I am and just put a hand on his shoulder and go, hey, it's gonna be okay. Now tell us where she is.
He sort of stops and like looks at you, and in this moment you feel a genuine human connection between you and this person. And there is kind of maybe a little bit of a gloss that goes over his eyes, and he goes, hi, I'm Mutt.
Wait, Mutt? What?
Mutt. Ranger Mutt Danson.
Okay. You have a beard?
Hi, it's nice to meet you, I'm sure. Where's Alex?
Well, when everything hit the shit before, Alex was the only one who didn't check in. I had sent them to, she was gonna go check on, we have a couple spots where people like to picnic and hike, and I sent her out there, and
so Alex is still in the park.
Yeah.
All right. And you're doing a great job. And I've left my hand like on his shoulder this entire time, waiting for that answer. It just is now a little pat on the shoulder that I will release as soon as he's actually answered. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Do you have any sort of walkie-talkies or anything like that we could get in?
Yeah. I've been trying to radio her, and I just can't get a hold of it. You're really pretty.
Oh my God.
No, sir. No, sir. All right,
sorry,
we're all at work here. You're at work.
Everyone deals with trauma differently, and this is apparently how I'm dealing with mine.
Yeah.
This is a professional relationship, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry. The Rocky Island is where she was sent last year. I can't get a hold of her on the walkie on the radio. That's where she is.
I'm gonna say that Ruby, up until like Max said something, did not realize like quite the connotation of what he meant. She has no idea that she was just hit on. She's just like, Max, like, what do you do? What does me being pretty have to do with the situation?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm panicking a little bit.
It's okay.
Hey, take a couple breaths. It's okay. Okay.
Deep breaths and just focus on what you need to do right now.
Right. Yeah, don't worry. This is not in your job description. It's not your responsibility.
Nope.
This is in our job description and it is our responsibility. And Ruby here, who is in charge of this situation primarily, is going to
It's a really pretty name.
handle it. I swear to God, sir, I'm going to report you. All right, I'm going to report you to the woods.
Sorry.
Or
You're guys looking between the two of you like, what is happening in this moment now?
So yeah, we have two very up and coming professionals here and me, and we're going to handle the situation.
Okay, sorry.
Are you okay? I know you're not okay, but
No, I'm not okay.
You said picnic areas is where where she was last. Do you have a map that you can quickly show us an area?
Yeah, it's hold on. He kind of turns with the shotgun in hand.
Yeah, of course.
Not on the trigger, just to be clear. And he turns to go behind the counter, and as he does, the tall gentleman at the door with the beard sort of turns back and he's like, looks like things are fading back. I think it's okay. What the fuck is going on, man? He kind of moves over to the other ranger, who's a lady, and she seems very like put together in this moment, and she's like, you gotta get your shit together, man. Like, kind of having a quiet moment over there, and the people relax a little bit who are around you, and they're asking what's going on, what could be happening, as Mutt comes back with a map, and he kind of looks over and sees that the world has again come back into this light, hands you this map, and he says, all right, so send her to Rocky Island. You have to get to this trail, get through it, and then you're gonna have to cross the Potomac to get there. There are boats set up at the top of this section, and as he shows you, you can see that the Potomac River has sort of bifurcated and is cut in half, and in between is a fairly diamond-shaped island in the middle, and there is a spot marked at the top where there are boats that you can take down these rapids to get to the island. Have you guys ever gone on the water like this? It's not dangerous, but it isn't easy. And he kind of looks between all of you, the young girl dressed in all pink and a young lady in a suit and an older lady in orthopedic shoes.
Yeah, Claire and I went on a college field trip where we went river rafting. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we learned about the Revolutionary War and they had to cross the Potomac. We've done it ourselves. It was a very immersive history class.
I went canoeing with my dead wife.
There is a pause.
She didn't die in a canoe accident.
Yeah, she didn't die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who are you people?
We're doing our job.
That's kind of all you need to know.
Okay. Well, if you're gonna go rescue Alex, I think he kind of pauses for a moment, then hands the map to you. Just bring her back safe. She's part of the family.
I don't think there's any other way that we would be comfortable bringing her back. So we will bring her back safely.
From what I understand, her family's company has a no-kill policy, so she will come.
Oh my God!
Alive.
Yes, we're not going to kill Alex. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I thought I was the problem here, but anyways, we should be going now. Let's go.
Try to read it and go towards the boat.
I think as she's like, let's go. It's like gesturing to the two of you to get out the door. She'll just look back at the people and very matter-of-factly just tell them, stay here, stay safe, stay together, and you'll be just fine. And they'll shut the door without a second glance back.
The people seem to take your word for it. You guys start to make your way. I'm going to say you could probably take the motorcycle most of the way. You're going to have to go through trails, but it's not going to be that difficult to do so on a motorcycle. So good job with that.
Huzzah.
And is there anything you guys want to do on the way?
Generally check for any clues or signs of places where Alex may have been.
I want to ask a spirit if I see any along the way hanging out.
Yeah, you guys make your way through the trails to this sort of spot that the boats are at. And as you get the motorcycle with the kickstand up, you start to determine what boats you're taking. Again, it's not going to be that difficult to get there. You just do have to cross the river and get on the island. Mags, you start to look around and start to see if you can communicate with someone. And you notice there is a spirit fairly close to this side of the Vale, sitting on a rock that is at the edge of the water. They're kicking their feet. They seem to be maybe a young child, not toddler, but maybe about 10 or 12. This spirit seems to have pants that are cinched up by socks up until their calf. They're wearing a fairly flowing top and a poofy little hat with a bean at the top of it, and they're just kind of sitting there kicking their feet.
Girls, I'm gonna go talk to a dead kid real quick. Will you all want to look for clues while I see if I can learn anything from this ghost?
Gotcha. 6. I don't know what that means, but I've heard it used in many action movies.
Wait, what did you say? Could you say it again? My hearing's terrible.
I got your 6.
Oh, okay.
If you need me to get your 8, I can do that too.
I also don't know what those things mean, but they seem cool to say. Okay. So, yeah.
Ruby does know what they mean, but will not explain it in this moment. She's just watching, so they're actually like, she's more acknowledging the fact of, cool, I can never use these terms in any form of when we're together fighting. Fantastic. Good to know.
Yeah, I think Max will go up to the kid and be like, hello, I can see you.
It takes a moment and they kind of like look up to you, not used to having people talk to them. And it looks like to be ambiguous, but the voice that comes out seems to be that of a little girl. And she says, "You can see me?"
I can, yes. Wow. I like your hat, in fact.
Thanks. My dad made it for me.
Cool. Yeah, hell yeah, kid. What's that? Have you... I'm still alive.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible. And I'm just wondering, have you seen any ghosts around here that are trying to break through into the living realm? Or maybe like some mortals that are floating and are wearing khakis?
You mean like a ranger?
Yes, like a ranger. Okay, I didn't know if you knew what that was, but there we go.
I talk to a ranger all the time.
It's probably horrifying for them, but it's cool of you.
No, she's really nice.
Oh, she know you all like talk back and forth, and she's like me.
Yeah, silly.
I am. Okay, well, is she doing okay? Is she around here? Have you seen her lately?
I don't know. I saw her earlier today. She was gonna go check out the island. I can't get to the island. I can't cross this river.
Oh, okay, cool. So good to know. Well, I'd be happy to go check on her, and maybe she's a friend of yours, it seems.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna go check on her because I can cross the river. I think I hope so. So could you point me in the direction of where you can't cross, and I'll go check on her for you?
Yeah. Can you do the thing where you come to us too?
I deeply wish that I could, but I'm not sure that I can yet.
She said something about projecting, and then she could come walk with us.
Oh boy, I would like to know how to do that. That would be great, but I don't currently know how to do it.
Well, maybe you can learn and then we can hang out.
That sounds great. I would love it. What's your name? I'm sorry. That was very rude of me.
My name is Jimothy.
Jimothy, a hilariously outdated name in the line that I'm living in, but a very cool name, I'm sure, from your time. So, Jimothy, I can't wait for us to be able to hang out more, but I do need to go check on Alex.
Okay. Will you be back?
Absolutely. I can promise you that at some point, you and I will spend more time together.
Yeah, because you're kind of old, so like crossing the river might be treacherous for you.
Exactly. I might die soon. You're so mature for your age, Jimothy.
Well, I did die young, so
you did die young. Yeah, you learned a lot at that. Sorry. Yeah. We keep like, I feel like we have a lot in common. So I can keep finishing each other's sentences. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll see you. Bye. Yeah, see you soon. All right. Yeah, thank you. See you soon. I appreciate your time. You're a great kid. Sorry about your death. Yeah. You hear Mag say as she like walks back towards you all. Any clues? I think I know exactly where to take us.
Did you say sorry about your death to a child?
Yes, I did. We really tried to skirt around that subject. I tried to skirt around that subject with the kid, but once you're a ghost spirit, you just are unabashed about your own mortality. So that's what happened with me and that kid. Yeah.
I mean, I can't see them. Do they look offended or like good with it? I'm just
no, they're very good with it. They were cooler with it than I was. It's kind of haunting me still, even though I've seen a lot. So
whenever you see a person that's a spirit, do you see them as they were when they passed, or the best version of themselves?
I don't really know because I don't ask everyone how they died in that moment. So it might be that I am seeing the projection of the moment they died, but I have to also assume in order to just like be polite for other ghost stories that it's, you know, the moment of their death. Because I didn't want to say like, hey, did you die as a kid? That feels like a rude question, but it is kind of also assumed feels like something I should be sensitive to. So
maybe whenever you get an older person, you think you could ask them for me?
Totally. Yes, absolutely. I can also just ask. I can ask Birdie. And that's something I never thought to ask her, but I can just ask her. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, how does she look to you? Does she look to you like whenever she died, or was that the best version of herself?
Well, she's the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life at all points that I've known her. So it's kind of like a little hard to tell because I just hold her in my heart so dearly. Her beauty is transcendent of time to me.
Well, okay, that's fair.
I'm kind of a biased party. Yeah.
I can't wait to find what you have. And she's like, and Ruby,
a ghost?
She says it kind of
don't do that.
offhandedly.
We've talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, Ruby says it kind of offhandedly, but there's something like where she's genuinely thinking about it of, wow, that's really sweet. I can't tell like Mags that.
All right. You guys get yourselves into a boat and start to make your way down this river. You can see on the right side, there is a sort of rocky bank, which is the area that you came from. But on the left side, as you make your way down, there are very sharp, jagged rocks that come up in this island that you are trying to get to. You know that the spot where you can enter onto the island, where it is the lowest, is sort of towards the tip of it. And as you move past it, you can see that there is this darkness that is coming from the island. It seems that the veil is very close to your world here specifically. And as you dock your boat onto the island and tie it off, the landscape is fairly treacherous and that the path is not very well worn. People hike on this island. They take lunches here. It's not impossible, but it's not the simplest of hikes. And from what you can tell as you enter onto the island, the darkness, this fog, is centralized towards the eastern bank, so at the opposite side that you're on, and you can make your way there as you kind of very carefully move across these rocks. You could take the path. It would take you like over and around it, or you could go straight through and just take more time to get there. Is there a way you guys like to approach this?
Before we start walking, is there another boat that's already like on this island as well? Is there more than one?
Yeah, you see that there is a couple of boats, probably 2 or 3, that have been docked here, and they seem to have been untouched since whatever happened. And that's all you see from the bank.
Okay, Ruby is trying to figure out how many people may have been on this particular island when whatever happened. And so that's why she's looking for potentially more either survivors or more ghosts that Mags may interact with.
You guys want to go the simpler path or the more rough road?
Yeah, I think Mags is fully leaving this up to you all because this is not just kind of like jarred thinking about the other thing, and you all know better, I think.
I would say I think we should go on the circle path.
I will say, as far as making your decision goes, these effects that have been happening seem to be, you don't know how long you have, and taking more time might cause another rip to happen. You might have to deal with more monsters. Going faster might lead you to, it just might be more treacherous physically for some of the people in dress shoes. Maybe
we should go the quickest path, and seeing as that's the most rugged, I'm sure that's what Miss Bean would have done because she was a park ranger and they're not one to shy away from adventure.
That is a good point. Yes. Okay, I guess we'll take that path.
Both you girls are so smart. You have such bright futures ahead of you. I cannot. If I was where you all are at your age, incredible.
But you're here at your age, which is also incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm very proud. In case it's not clear, I'm very proud of all of us.
We give a big hug to everyone. Group hug. So yeah, I guess we head out through the rugged short path, the harder short path.
It's just gonna be a little bit more treacherous as far as like footfalls and stuff. You're taking your time to pass through this. You have technically crossed over into Maryland. Welcome. And you make your way. You find footholds. And again, these rocks are fairly sharp out. They're at a 45-degree angle, but you can find the spaces in between where they sort of hit together. And make your way. Mags, you get this sense as you move across the island. You could feel this psychic connection really getting stronger as you move. And you can kind of even use this ability to guide your path across. And you find yourself towards the east bank of this island where there is a more sustainable path for you to walk on. It's probably about 3 feet wide. And you guys can see this darkness, this gray fog moving over you as you get closer and closer. And as you kind of clear through a section that seems to be thicker, you see hovering above the channel that is between this island and the land beyond, there is a small channel of water, and right at the bank of it, Claire, as you saw in your vision, you see this figure sort of laying horizontally, held in the air by seemingly nothing. Their hair is brown with curls flowing around them. They seem weightless in this space. Their arms are stretched out, and you can see this ranger's outfit on them. The eyes are open wide towards the sky, and this pulse, this psychic energy is coming from this person who seems to be stuck here. What would you guys like to do?
I think I want to use my move, the sight, where I can see invisible. Yeah, the same thing that asked, let me talk to that kid, because I want to try and investigate a mystery and see what's going on here. Because I think that, like, I would imagine I haven't seen anything like this before. Something is happening here that is outside of, like, you know, I see a lot of weird shit, but this isn't shit that I know about. So
absolutely, please go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery.
I got a 9 on this one. Mags definitely is willing to, like, overreach here, because this, again, feels so lined up with exactly the stuff she's trying to fight against. And I think with that, like, only mid-success roll, she's, like, sees what's happening, kind of knows, and is like, no, I'm going to, like, push deeper here, even though she knows all this darkness is around, all these bad things could happen, but she's like, I have to be successful here. So she's really pushing in and trying to figure out what's happening so she wants to save the day.
I dig that. What are your questions going to be on your hold 2? Or you can ask one now and save the other for later.
I think 100% I want to ask what is being concealed here, because I feel like something is going on outside of, like, we kind of got the hint from the child that, what was it, Jimothy? It's from Jimothy that she's maybe astral projecting, has astral projected, but I know something is going on that's, like, causing a problem. So I don't know if Alex is the problem or the world is the problem, like, what I'm missing. So I think that's where I want to start.
Absolutely. So you also, with your luck special, your dark side needs will get a little bit nastier. And I think this works perfectly for you because one of your dark sides is poor impulse control and hallucinations.
Yeah.
So as you start to try to put the pieces together and use your sight to see as to what is happening here, the other two, you can see Mags's eyes sort of glaze over and a white film goes over them, and the pupils, the irises, everything is gone as she starts to look deeply into this situation. Mags, you can see through the veil in this moment. You've already sort of passed through it as you are in this area, but you can see around Alex there is this unseen sphere that is sort of holding her in place, and that sphere trickles down into a funnel, and that funnel connects to a spot in the ground that is right in between the two sides of the banks. This river, this spot seems to have some sort of gate underneath it, and as this gate is pulsing and ripping through, is throwing energy up into Alex and is connected to her, and you can see that it is pulling itself through. You realize that there is some sort of space here where the veil was at its lightest, and whether she was just seemingly astral projecting for fun, whether she was trying to get a view into this, it has gripped onto her. She is this key to this doorway and is trying to rip through into your realm.
I would say I want to like cash in the what happened here question in the sense of like I want to know specifically if she was trying to do this or not. I think.
Absolutely.
Or if this was or she was accidentally swept up in this.
Yeah, this vision that you are seeing, you kind of pulse forward and backwards through time as it rewinds, and you can see Alex walking through this blurry vision outside of her face as she walks on the path using her ranger skills to maneuver herself onto the edge of the rocks. And you see she kind of notices this area. She takes it into account and she kind of smiles very calmly and in a friendly way towards it, noticing that maybe the veil is a little bit closer here. She might be able to have a better ease of astral projecting, moving her way through. So she sits down cross-legged on the rocks, and you can see her sort of relax her body, place her hands on her knees. She pulls her head back in a relaxed stance, and you can kind of see her astral form start to pulse out of her body as she is willing it to go into the world. This seems very easy for her, something she has done before. It's a very practiced maneuver that she's doing. And as it is pulling from her, this doorway connects to her. And as it does, you see that pulse rip, and you see her astral form ripping from her body. She begins to scream as the pain from this dome forms around her as her body levitates up. As you feel the things that she is also kind of going through, this panic, this pain, it does not seem that she was trying to do this. It just was an easy spot to try and astral project. And as this pulse goes out, the world around turns dark. As you saw in the town, the shades became real. They became part of your world. And as that's happening in that short period of time, you can feel her attempting to pull it back in to stop this from coming through. And she is currently still in this struggle to keep the world together. This power that she has is more immense than you have ever experienced. She is a very powerful psychic. Being able to astral project, you would know, is not the simplest of things. And the fact that she can do it so easily makes her a high-powered psychic in any regards. That makes sense?
100%. Yeah. I think I kind of like, maybe not snap out of it, but I know what I need to communicate to kind of like say through all of this. I just yell out like, Ruby, Claire, we need to pull her back.
Pull her back.
You want me to wrap like myself around a tree?
No, spiritually.
Oh. You got this, girl.
I can't do it alone.
It's doing
I can't
great.
do it alone. I can't do it alone.
Claire, you're reminded in this moment of the words of a random weirdo that approached you. This seemingly stranger on the street, not fitting in with the college town that you were a part of, that approached you and spoke in a babble about some sort of prophecy.
It seems make sense at the time.
It didn't, but it seems to be making more sense now.
But now, Claire just like goes deadpan and says, the golden key will open the forbidden door. We are the strength that is needed to slam the door shut. She's the key.
Y'all are the strength.
Let's go back to us. Can I do something to like roll to know like what is the best way to encourage a soul back to us? Like,
yeah.
Physically fight?
I think you might be able to talk to Ruby about this. Because Ruby has a lot of history in how to save people and how to bring people back alive. Ruby, you will know that if this is a powerful psychic, if they've been connected to a different realm, if their spirit has been moved from their body, physically pulling them out of this will tear their soul, will rip their mind out. So you're going to have to do this in some sort of either magical way to get them physically out of this, some sort of ritual to pull them out, or you will have to go in connecting psychically to her to sort of weave her mind out of this situation.
Okay. I'm basically going to relay that of we cannot physically pull her out of this. We need to either connect with her psychically or spiritually. We can't do it physically. It's more of a magical thing.
Do you know how to connect spiritually with her, Mags?
Yeah, you just gotta have like long conversations at night. You have to really share some of the things you feel vulnerable about.
Hey, unfortunately, we don't have that much time for that. Nor do I think she's in a state to talk to us quite like that.
And I'm out of ideas. My long history in life has failed us.
Would Ruby have any know-how of how to go about that? She's had rigorous training, and I feel like maybe there was rigorous lessons or things of, you probably will never need this, but in case you do,
Yeah, I think the ability to use magic is going to be big in this regard. You can, the three of you, connect in a way. You can either go about this and do a ritual to sort of banish her spirit from that realm, which is just going to be a lot of magical use, as far as like you guys are going to have to band together to ritually pull her out of this. Or you could go about it where you connect your minds and go in mentally and spiritually to find where she is and pull her out that way.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. LB, feel free to say no. But I say we do this. I heard it once. We all cut our palms and then we put it together and we said, blood of mine come from me, blood of thine come from thee. When our bloods do combine, from your location come to mine.
That was so specific, it has to work.
Are you in our dorm doing rituals?
No, I mean, you guys don't learn that? It's like a hopscotch thing.
Now's not the time to judge, Ruby.
I'm not judging. I'm just more wondering if this has been going on in our shared accommodations, and I need to be worried about spooky shit.
There's nothing
outside
spooky
of this
going on in our room.
You should always be worried about spooky shit. You hang out with me, I see ghosts constantly.
This is why I saw all the doors and windows. If she's just bringing it in, I'll deal with this later. Anyways, okay, let's try it.
Okay, yeah, personal boundaries later. Saving the spirit lady now.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are going to use magic to do this grand ceremony. Would someone like to use magic, and then you guys can describe how each one of you, I will allow, if needed, you guys to use help actions to make it go off without a hitch, or you can use luck, whatever you want to do. But someone needs to roll use magic for this, and then we are going to describe how it goes down. Who is going to start this ritual? Who's going to lead it?
Oh,
I cut
that's
my
for
hand.
sure you, yeah.
I break out my tooth and my tooth flail and I use one of the teeth, the canine. It feels appropriate.
That's so cool.
I pass. I feel like I can pass it, or if everyone has their own ritualistic thing they would like to cut themselves with.
I have a big knife.
You know, and this is it's your dream, it's your vision. Put your teeth on my hand.
I take Mag's hand in mine and I cut open her palm.
Yeah, I just imagine her like she's like seeing both worlds on top of each other right now. So all of my yelling is like she's having a hard time orienting herself and like understanding what's happening around her because she's just seeing both of these worlds happening on top of each other at the same time. But she's just kind of like reaching out almost like in the wrong direction at first and then gets like reoriented back to you.
All right, and Ruby, you cut your hand with your big knife.
Yeah, I think that she was like, oh yeah, we're all doing our own. And then looked over and was like, oh, well, but she's already done it. It was like, oh.
That's okay. It's okay. As long as the blood mixes.
Yeah.
You join hands together and start to chant this phrase. I would like you to roll to use magic. Roll plus weird, please.
Oh, I rolled a 2. I rolled a 1 plus a 1.
Would you like to use luck?
4. Yes, Can I do that?
I was gonna say, is there anything I can do that help? Like,
how are you so bad at rolling?
Incredible. Dice tell a story, you know?
Dice tell a story.
Yeah. And these dice really said, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Your luck special is the keeper will bring your fate into play. I feel like that's pretty good for this section as you are fulfilling your fate right now. You guys join hands, and as you begin to chant, you can feel this magic flowing through you a little bit, and it seems to sputter as you are trying to reach out towards the spirit realm to grab Alex and bring her back from this situation that she's in. And as you look towards her, her eyes, these bright greens, the tears flowing down the side as she is trying to keep the world together and keep it from tearing apart. And you can see her eyes, they shudder for a moment, and as they do, they begin to turn and they lock with you as she seems to be pleading with you to save her from the situation, recognizing that you are attempting to do so. And as you lock eyes with her and this connection forms, your luck changes to a 12 as you start to chant. What does this spell look like to you?
I feel like whenever we have our hands combined, like the blood is like dripping out of between our palms, and like all of the blood that drips comes into the center section and like forms her.
Yeah. Mags, you are already slightly between these realms. You are using yourself as an anchor, a gateway into the spiritual realm. And Claire is trying to find the pathway through as Ruby, you push forward, finding the space, using your strength to form up this blood to Alex. And as it sort of makes contact, Mags, you can see this spiritual bubble that is around her begins to shudder and fade. And as Claire breaks the circle, reaching her hand out, you take the blood from your hand and smear it on the hand of Alex as you grip tight. And you can see physically as Alex is pulled from this sphere and her body moves into Claire's arms, the sphere breaking, this funnel going back into the water. The water seems to boil for a moment and then all goes quiet. The world around you moves from gray darkness slowly back into the light. Mags, your eyes come back into the material plane, the world around you, and you can see that Birdie is holding your hand and Alex's hand, completing the connection. As for a moment, you all see Birdie standing there as she fades with this veil moving back to where it should be.
Love you, Birdie. Wait, Birdie, is this how you looked whenever you died, or is this what you look like in your prime?
Ruby's thought was, wow, she is really pretty. And it just, that over her shoulders is excellent.
Alex sort of blinks for a moment as she is physically in your arms, Claire, her brown hair kind of cascading over her shoulders. She seems to have trouble focusing for a moment.
Tuck it behind her ear. And I say, follow my finger. I don't know what it does, but I point in her face. And I just show her my new manicure.
Her eyes lock onto your hand as you see it coming back into the world. And she like blinks up at you and she says, are you an angel?
Oh my God, I could be.
What happened? Did I die?
No, Alex, you are safe. We saved you. I am not an angel, but I could be. You big powerful. You're big powerful.
Well said.
I think I pushed a little too far there. You have a beautiful mind.
My God. Thank
We're at work. Everybody, I will remind you.
And she kind of notices that there are other people around and she kind of sits up a little bit. Did I hurt anyone?
No, not at all. You just hurt me whenever you fell from heaven.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Max, I don't remember there being pickup lines in your book.
Yeah, she's off scripts now. This is way beyond me.
Oh, okay.
I'm
all
very
right.
direct.
I thought maybe that was how you picked up Birdie.
No, I just walked up to her and said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you because you're amazing, but that's not the point here. Yeah.
Wait, that's how you opened?
Yeah, I opened. It was terrible. A horrible opening.
Damn. All right.
Alex sort of takes a moment to be able to stand up on her own. You can see that her body is physically worn out and she is mentally worn out from the entire thing that she just had to go through. But she gets herself settled and says, "Who are you guys?"
I push Ruby to the front.
We're just here to help. We noticed that there had been some unexplained instances, and that's why we're here.
I don't want to overblow this situation, but I think you guys just saved the world.
No, you did.
No.
No.
I kind of did the opposite. I kind of almost destroyed the world.
You were the golden key
to opening the door to the veil.
Well, I don't know. It was pretty cool. We all got to see Birdie because of it.
God, I love your positivity.
That's my lovely wife who's dead. But yeah, just in case, just to clue you in. Yeah.
Yeah, she spoke to me. She's lovely.
Can you see Birdie too?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Not right now. She seems to have put a lot of effort in and taken a step back.
Actually, I would say, has this door being closed affected my powers at all, or like my connection to this world, or is it just?
Ooh.
Maybe just in this moment. It seems that there was a suction of power as the veil is shut off here. Well, I feel awful physically, mentally, spiritually. I think I might need to go get some rest.
Do you want to come have a sleepover?
Okay, now that's just inappropriate.
It's just like the slowest pan. Like, what?
No funny business. I just meant that seeing as you were captured by the shade and in a very dark predicament, you might not want to sleep alone. And having 3 other people who have been in a similar situation, it might calm your nerves a little bit and allow you the ability to actually sleep. You could have your own room even.
Well, I feel like I might sleep better if you're there.
Well, that's fine. We can sew you up in a potato sack if you don't want any touching.
That's not what I said, but...
Okay, Ruby, you want to go? We should go.
I want to go. I would love to go. Canonically, I think Ruby could see it when other people are flirting with each other. She can't see it at all when it's for her. So she's like, this is weird. Nobody ever does this with me. Let's go.
All right. You guys make your way.
Let's go. She can come with, but we need another bike. Let's go.
As you guys make your way out of this area, across the water, back to the ranger station, I think that Alex is going to check in and make sure that everything's okay. The world seems to be saved for the moment. Is there anything that you guys want to do as you wrap up this mystery?
Does Mag stop and talk to the little girl again?
Oh, yeah. I think it's like an epilogue for this adventure. It's like, you can often find Mags out in the woods, hanging out with a child, with Jimothy. Yeah, I think it's like a cool, like, she like takes walks in these woods, partially to like, this is a powerful area, but also to kind of like guard it a little bit, you know, because she feels this inclination to make sure that other people don't step too far through here as well. So yeah, you could often find her walking around these woods to keep the veil thick.
And you know, as things kind of settle out, as things go back to normal, the Black Channel, where this veil is very thin, is a very simple place for you to go and speak to Birdie and really see her and kind of be with her without stepping too far out of yourself and into the darkness. But it seems like a nice place for you to just sit and speak with nice ghosts, especially your wife and all that. All right.
I think Ruby just puts in a report and she feels so proud about it. Like, this is her first mission by herself without having to like have somebody like be there or bail her out, aside from her 2 companions with her. Like, she doesn't need a parent or her stuck-up cousin, who is also her rival, to bail her out. It was, I needed a piece of information. I asked you, you directly gave it to me, and we figured it out. And so she is so proud when she first turns in that report. Like, she is the proudest thing. Yeah, that's about it. I think that she feels very empowered by that.
Claire scrapbooks everything from the day into her book of Mag's advice, and then she texts Alex and asks for a coffee date, but then she puts her phone away really fast and goes to bed because she's too nervous to actually check for it.
Ruby looks at your phone for you later.
Email 1995. Email.
Yeah.
Oh
yep.
yeah.
Well, if that is all, that is the end of our mystery today. Thank you guys so much for playing with me.
Thank you.
This has been lovely.
Running everything.
Truly.
Thank you so much for joining us for Darkness Falls. I wanted to say a special thanks to my hunters for playing in this wonderful series. If you enjoy our shows, please leave us a like or a comment to let us know what you think. Be on the lookout for upcoming shows and podcasts. You can find more content like this on Hack Recklessly's Spotify and YouTube channels. I hope that you enjoyed our show, and as always, hack recklessly.